And the family's been separated. We've been apart in different houses. We're about 5, 10, 15 miles from each other in different directions.
I'm currently renting the home that I'm trying to buy.
I have bought my home, so I'm like secure.
And Janelle and I are both renting at this point.
Constantly on the go. And then that means that when he's at each wife's house, he has to stay like super present and attentive and everything. He's exhausted.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Thursday, November 5th. Remember how I was saying that Kody Brown leaving could maybe open the door for other wives to leave? And then remember how I said that Meri is super removed from the family? Do you remember like last spring, someone that goes to school with the Browns in Flagstaff? So a classmate of Isabel Brown, her parent reached out and said that, you know, they were at the graduation for Isabel and that Kody and Kody seemed cordial, but not like in a relationship. And then she had mentioned that, you know, in the entirety of the family being in Flagstaff, they had literally never seen Meri Brown at all out. She had said multiple times that, you know, the others were out and about. Robyn had been out, Kody had been out, Janelle had been out. She described Janelle and Kody as super friendly. She was not a fan at all of Robyn, and she said she had never once ever seen Meri out, and Meri was not interacting in the community. No one saw her, no one interacted with her, no one knew her. So Meri was like in her own little bubble outside of the family, and there was questions surrounding everyone about whether or not Meri even had a relationship with them and if it was all just for show. Now that Kody has left, this has apparently inspired some of the other wives to take some stock on where their relationship stands with Kody. And I guess Kody has now lost his mind because he is afraid that both Janelle and Meri are going to leave him. Yep, you've got that right. So Janelle and Meri are now both reevaluating their position in the family. I don't think we should be very surprised with this because, well, let's be honest. He spends nearly all of his time with Robyn, and when you treat the other wives completely and utterly trash-tastic, like you are so rude to them, you're so not nice to them, do they really want to be around you? When you literally get upset with a woman for having an opinion, and unless she gives you what you want, she's not good enough for you, I don't think anyone should be surprised. But this is what a source told Us Weekly about where things stand with the family. So this is what they said. All of the wives knew and were aware that they split when we're talking about Kody and Kody. So this wasn't news to them. If anything, it sort of inspired the others in one way or another to reevaluate their positions. So I'm guessing that Robyn is totally fine in her position as uno number one, right? Number one wife. The other two wives, Meri, who's been with him since 1990, which is 31 years, and then Janelle, who has been with him since 1993. And Robyn's only been with him for 11 years. So Robyn is practically a newlywed. Meri and Kody have their own lives, their own changing lives. Janelle has her oldest daughter, Savannah, about ready to graduate from high school, and they have their own things going on. So it says the other women have been dealing with their own life changes. Janelle spent the summer living in the RV on the family's Arizona property, and she recently decided to rent a house in town for winter. Remember how I told you that Janelle posted on her Instagram that she wanted to move back into a house? She found a short-term rental, and she was kind of like doing that with the property after spending the summer, and she wants to go back to the property. She says that Janelle has found a new home, and that she doesn't often even see Kody and Robyn, and she's excited about spending time with her children for the holidays. Her kids are her real family. That's kind of what Kody said, that her kids are her whole world. Her kids are her whole family. So it says that, she's got Logan, who's 27, Maddie, who's 26, Gabe, who's 20, Savannah, who's 16, and then there's Garrison. Oh my gosh, why does everyone always forget about Garrison? They literally forgot about Garrison. I think Garrison's like 22 and 23. They also forgot Hunter. Us Weekly literally forgot. So they said that these were, you guys, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. They literally said Logan, Maddie, Gabriel, and Savannah. And then they forgot Hunter and Garrison. Come on, Us Weekly, you cover these people and interview them all the time. Anyways, Christine's now in Utah, but I guess Janelle and Christine's relationship are close. So it says Janelle's really close to Christine, and she's in constant communication with her. Interesting. So Christine and Janelle's relationship is not going to be shattered by this. But if Janelle is, looking forward to Christmas with her family and the holidays with her families, and she's sort of like at a different space in her life, could she be thinking about leaving? She said that she's been like okay with her spot in the family, but I wonder now if she sees that, if you can leave, things can be fine. And if she sees Christine happy and thriving, maybe she will want that too. Maybe, right? Well, in regards to Meri, they say Meri could not be any farther removed from the other wives and Kody. He is trembling and worried that Meri or Janelle are going to leave him at any time. So Kody is freaking out that Meri and Janelle could both leave him. I was actually wondering about this because remember a few weeks ago, Janelle and Christine went on a trip and they went to Disney World and Universal Studios, and I thought it was really odd. It was right before Christine moved to Utah, and I was like, well, this is weird. Like, if she's leaving the family, she's certainly staying in touch with Janelle. And then I thought, well, you know what? Like, Janelle literally hardly ever talks about Kody. She was in the RV all summer. She posted one photo of him sitting on a picnic table, and she and Kody have been like in a friend-zoned relationship for years. Like, Kody and her do not have a romantic relationship. I mean, I'm sure he would like people to believe that, but they've always described their relationship as platonic. And I think she's been okay with that and not wanted more than that. But now maybe Christine being out there and Christine finding happiness away from Kody could potentially like calm her or inspire her to move forward. Janelle did leave. Did you guys know that? She left in the very beginning of her marriage with Kody. And Janelle did not grow up in polygamy. So this would not surprise me, shockingly, if she sees Christine, her bestie, having a good life, doing things her own way, and think, hey, I could do that too. You know what I mean? When she first was married to Kody, she and Meri did not get along at all. Meri had huge problems with jealousy. She called Meri's, the way Meri treated her as not kind. She said that their relationship was always forced on their face. She felt like she had no space or no place. She felt like she and Kody had no time to craft a marriage where they were in love with each other, that it got to a point that she was so completely miserable for such a long period of time that she eventually packed up her life and moved. And then after packing up her life and moving, she was like out of the family for 2 years. She's been married before. She was married to Meri's brother, so she's left someone in the past. She didn't grow up in polygamy. Her mother lived in polygamy, but her mother recently passed away. So it seems like, there's maybe some ties here that might lend her to wanting freedom. Savannah is the only child left at home. She's got, Garrison and Gabriel might still live at home, maybe. I don't know. They might have moved out because I don't think they were with her in the RV. She actually went out for dinner not long ago, and she was with Garrison and I think Hunter, and no Kody in sight. She also traveled with the kids to Utah a couple months ago, no Kody in sight. It really starts to make you wonder how much Kody has even seen any of his wives since COVID hit. He seemed to use COVID as an excuse to not see any of his wife and to hunker down completely and totally with Robyn. Now, the problem here is that Kody is going to be furious because he is going to want to make sure that he has the wives, and if he loses all of his wives, he's going to lose his kingdom. And if he wants to go to heaven and he truly believes in polygamy, that's what he's going to need. And if he's the guy that he's been for all of these years, he's eventually going to get bored with Robyn, 100%. He's gotten bored with everyone else. I have no doubt Robyn he'll get bored with. He'll need someone new. He'll want someone better. That's just how Kody is. So Kody's quaking in his shoes, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he is going to start recruiting new wives, which we're going to do a second video or a third video today on that, because y'all are dishing up the Sister Wives content. I'm loving that some of you are finding me here, but Janelle and Meri could be out the door. Totally not surprised about Meri. What do you think about Janelle potentially leaving him? Does that shock you? Does that surprise you? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.